It is December, which means very, very busy time for your favorite people on the internet, even if they're not doing vlogmas, which I am. If you didn't know, Madison and I have a vlog channel. I don't talk about it very often, but we're uploading every day, or sometimes we do 2 days in one day, one video. Over on the Shelbi and Madison channel, I'll link it for you if you want to go check it out. But that has made me quite tired. So I thought today we would just go through my day so you can kind of see what a day in my life looks like. It's going to be a really like low-key day. And I would answer some questions from you for my Instagram along the way. So if you're not already following me on Instagram, make sure you go do that. And we'll answer the first question now that my eyebrows are on, because my eyebrows are basically non-existent unless I put them on my face. Let's just start here right out the gate with this one from Rebecca that says, thoughts on Team C's. I feel like it's so hard to form an opinion on something so massive because there are so many opinions coming from everywhere, and I'm someone who really likes to form my opinion once I have all of the information and once I've seen how other people's perspectives of it is. And I definitely think an initiative like this is good, right? Mr. Beast spends a lot of money on his videos, but so does every film production, like, you know what I mean? And my point being, by saying he spends a lot of money on his videos, is it's good to see him put a lot of money towards other initiatives as well. And when someone as big and as famous as Mr. Beast is at this point, which, like, shout out to him, you know, if you know me at all, you know I'm a big fan of internet culture, specifically YouTube, and so anyone who is doing something like that on this platform, like, I have an innate respect for. At the end of the day, I don't think ocean cleanups are the solution to the pollution problem that we face. I think we definitely have to reduce before we essentially rescue, I guess would be the new RE of the whole like conglomerate of words. I just hope that that starts conversations about how we can reduce plastic pollution in general, and not more conversations about how we can just clean up the mess that we as humanity have collectively made. So I hope that answers your question. And I also just wanted to give a little shout out to my makeup palette. Look at this. I recently got this from Elate, and I put all my favorite like makeup eyeshadows in here, and this is the best thing I've ever had. Some of these eyeshadows are like over 3 years old. I'm gonna finish getting ready, and then I'll catch up with you with another question in a little bit. Have to take my vitamins because I remembered to eat breakfast this morning, and I've gotten much better this year about actually remembering to take my vitamins. As someone who cares about the environment, I always say Care of is the best way to get your vitamins, because these little packets are compostable. And not only are these little packets compostable, but I think these are the best option for vitamins because you can customize it to exactly what you want, so that you're not getting a bunch of vitamins that really aren't suited for you. Basically what you do with Care of is take a quick 5-minute survey. You're going to tell them about your age, your concerns, and all that good stuff, and they'll recommend vitamins that they think would be best suited for you. So of course I have a probiotic in here because I have many tummy problems. And it's just this little white one that I take every day, which I absolutely am so grateful that Care of has made it so easy for me. So if you want to get 50% off of your first package of Care of vitamins, you can use the code on the screen, and I'll have them linked at the top of the description. This is imperative to my day. So here we go. I'm gonna throw this in my compost bin, and then we need to get reusable bags. So my brother-in-law is joining me today. You may have never met him on the main channel before, but if you follow the vlogs, you've for sure seen him a lot. And before we take off, I just want to find another question for you guys. We're headed out to go grocery shopping, so I might look for a specifically grocery themed question. And we have to run by this secondhand store because I saw this shirt the other day in the thrift store, and I sent it to my nephew as a joke, like, haha, look what I saw. And he ended up saying, oh, I always look for shirts like that. Where did you see that? So we're gonna go back today in hopes that it's still there because I can't imagine there are very many people who want those shirts. And then we're gonna head to the grocery store. So let's do this grocery question. Roxanne3 asks, grocery packaging. Is it better to eat healthy, plant-based, or avoid all plastic packaging, even greens? Let me give you my 2 cents on this one.
Waiting for it.
I personally think that if you're trying to do your best in terms of the planet, right, that there are so many ways you can live more sustainably, better choices you can make, ways you can vote, ways you can get involved in activism, and all kinds of things that you can be doing to be better for the planet before you give up something that is inherently important to your health or to living. And food is definitely one of those things that a lot of times, especially living where I live in Texas, you can't get a lot of things without packaging. All the things that I can get without it, of course I'll always choose the unpackaged option.
Don't compromise if it's gonna make your life miserable. Like, if you can only be zero waste and that's the only thing that's gonna make you happy in life, then fine. If that's like what your chore is and you love that chore, go ahead. But if that's not it, then there's plenty of other ways that you can make yourself happy and help the planet out.
Yeah, I think the zero waste movement had its moment of everybody making it look like it was completely feasible to live that lifestyle, but I think the more years we get out from when the zero waste was like the idealistic visual like representation of what being an environmentalist is, I think we're learning that that's not realistic for like most people in the world. Never make yourself feel bad about needing to buy some spinach, girl. Go off. Grocery store, but since I just went to pick this up as a Christmas gift, I thought I would answer some of your questions that you asked on Instagram about Christmas gifts specifically. The sentiment in these questions very broadly seems to be, how do I tell my friends and family not to get me something or not to get me something that I didn't want? And one question specifically says, how to tell people I don't want a gift unless it's something that I'm going to use over the next 5 years. So I come from a family of hyper consumers, like seriously, some of the worst you've ever seen, the worst I've ever seen. And I tried that for years of being like, I don't want anything, please don't buy me anything, and they still would. So my solution to that was to make a wish list. Everyone in my family follows my wish list, and so they know the things that I want so that they can get me something, because if they still want that element of surprise to be there, but they have an idea of something that I would actually use and want. Now on the flip side of that, if you just absolutely don't want anything at all, I really don't know how to convince your friends and family of that, because like I said, I tried for years and I haven't been able to do that. Literally this year, my mom should not be buying anybody gifts for at all because of their recent financial situation, but she literally told me word for word that if I do not add stuff to my wish list, she will buy me shit just to buy me stuff, because she is going to buy me something and she doesn't care. I don't have any recommendations of how to get your family to stop buying you things. I haven't figured that out. If you know how to convince people who just want to shop to not do it, let us know in the comments. But my best recommendation by far is to make a wish list, put it wherever the people who are buying you things will see it. It could be a notes app, it could be a group message, it could be an Instagram page. That's what I personally do because everyone in my family who is buying me things knows how to operate an Instagram, and that's what I would recommend. Okay, let's go get some groceries and maybe a wreath. The wreaths outside look amazing. It smells so good. This one smells so good. This is like cedar berry, right? Oh, I'm gonna have to get one of these. This is incredible.
You're coming home with me.
Say I love H-E-B and Central Market before, it's because they're like a regular grocery store, but they carry so many local things. Like we're picking out a local salsa right now, and the guy at the champagne/wine counter just helped us pick out a local wine for Cameron's graduation celebration coming up this weekend. I just love that. That grocery store trip was magical. We got so many cool things, and let's see what new questions we've got while I was in the store. Any plans to do recipe content? I love the pine nut pasta recipe from one of your videos. Well, I feel like anytime I do talk about food, I try to say this, but food is like not something I really feel comfortable sharing too much about on the internet as far as like recipe development or what I eat in a day is like, I just feel like it makes me a target for criticism that mentally I'm not ready for. There's always comments about, well, you're eating that, so that's why you're fat, or you're fat, so you don't actually eat that, or just all of the comments that come along with that, and I just don't want to deal with it. So that's why I really shy away from making content about food, if you didn't already know that. So I don't have any upcoming like plans to talk about recipes on this channel. I share like what we eat more often really on the vlog channel. So if you want to see, like, sometimes I show it day-to-day stuff. Sometimes I literally edit it out from fear of hearing the bullshit about my weight. I just hate that stuff. I definitely don't have any current plans to talk about food. Maybe as I work through that more in therapy, we can get there. We can get there on this channel. Okay, now we have to go home though, and you will at least get to see what I eat for lunch. So let's go. You like how I use my Halloween bag at all times of the year? I just wanted to point out that we got so many good local things while we were at Central Market, and that's the reason why I love H-E-B and Central Market in general. And in addition to all the cool local stuff we can get at Central Market, they opened their bottom bulk sections, which is so exciting. I was so worried that after COVID they were just never gonna open them again, and that it was just always gonna be packaged stuff there instead. So that was really exciting. I was able to get red pepper and everything but the bagel seasoning, which, speaking of, they need to be refilled. This is one of the benefits of also like buying everything package free and storing it in containers, is whenever you go to leave the house, you can see what's empty and what needs to be refilled. Like I said, Cameron is helping me out today, so he's gonna help me put all this stuff up while I look for another question that you asked to answer.
Is it fit? It's perfect fit.
I pick Ski. I don't really know how you say your username, but I've seen your username for a long time, so thanks for being a long time follower. She says, any tips or tricks on finding vegan, plant-based options in an area? My best tip for that is always the Happy Cow app. I love and utilize that app all the time, especially when I'm traveling. It's basically an app where you can select restaurants that have veggie options that are just completely vegan or vegetarian, and I definitely highly recommend that. Aside from that, Facebook groups are really good, and like Instagram pages. I follow a lot of like local Instagram pages in San Antonio, Austin, and in Texas in general, and they're really good at helping you find like the good places in your area. While we're talking about food, will there be a Lomi review? So if you guys don't know, one of my favorite brands, Pila, released a countertop compost. It's called Lomi. And I think it's still only available on like Indiegogo right now, but I got one in the mail recently. I ordered some to do a giveaway on my Instagram, so again, follow me if you're not already. But I also got one from them that they sent me like to test out as, I guess, I don't know, PR. It's so weird to always say PR, I hate that word. But I have been testing it out for TikTok. So I have a few different videos testing it over on TikTok, and I do plan on doing a video about it here on YouTube soon. So if you have any questions, leave them in the comments, but I'll try to answer all of them, what I think you would want to know about it anyway. But questions, specific questions, are always helpful. Okay, this question is like so out there to me that I feel like I just need to answer it. It says, in my stories when I posted this Q&A, I was talking about how Madison and I had recently gone ice skating, which was the first time I'd ever gone ice skating outdoors, and it was just because we're doing Vlogmas. And the question is, did the ice rink use renewable energy? If not, did you have any guilt about going skating? I'm sorry, is that something I'm supposed to feel guilt for? What an ice skating rink uses for energy? Also, when you go somewhere, do you ask them before you go if they're using renewable energy? And then if they aren't, do you just not go, and do you feel guilty? I've never even thought about that. And I've gotten to the point in my life where I'm done feeling guilty about anything, because really I'm doing the best I can already. Why would I make myself feel guilty about the small joys in life? That is just such a bizarre question to me.
That's definitely an out there question. Who cares? And how perfect are you in your life? Do you feel guilty about every little thing? Probably not.
Burn. I just find it so interesting because there's so two polar opposite ends of the spectrum these days of people wanting you to feel guilt because you're not perfect, and then this completely opposite other end of the spectrum where people are like, literally nothing we do matters, so why bother? And I'm just trying to find the healthy balance in the middle, do you know what I mean? It seems very difficult. All the time, like way too much, and every single time I answer it I feel so unhelpful because I don't have an answer to it. And it's, how do you convince people to live more sustainably? How do I convince my mom to do this? How do I convince my boyfriend to do that? I have someone who maybe could help you. Actually, Cameron is the other one in the family who is like a little bit more on the sustainable side, whereas his wife, I wouldn't categorize her the same way. So what do you think, Cameron? How do you convince people? Or do you? Is it even possible? Because I don't think it is.
I would say it's not really possible to convince them. It's just to be an example for them. And then if you can influence them in some way, like when you're going to a store, rather than buying this, this one's only $1 more, let's buy this.
I think what's also really important is whenever they tell you something that they're doing well, compliment them, make them feel like what they're doing is worthwhile and that you appreciate it. And I also always say, like, try to talk to them from stuff that matters to them. And I find myself doing that inherently. Every time I want to advocate for the planet, I never say it anymore to people who are like not so eco-minded. I immediately go to money, convenience. And everybody has different lived experiences, and the way they move about the world has to do with those lived experiences. And I think it's just empathy is also really important to deploy in this situation. So I found these tea towels at a thrift store the other day. Lots of them. Festive. Very festive and cute. And I thought that would be the perfect way to wrap some of my Christmas gifts this year. And some of your questions were about gift wrapping, so I thought I would answer those while I get a little bit of this done, you know what I mean? Maybe this is random, but have you found any eco-friendly solutions for tape? My Depop shop is asking, TBH. Yeah, for sure. Definitely like packing tape and paper tape like this one. This is a good, paper tape is recyclable. So you can definitely choose that over like a plastic tape, which usually ThredUp just kind of secures this. They don't even tape it, I don't know. It would be called like paper tape, packing tape, that sort of thing. And honestly, it's even more durable a lot of the times than the plastic tape because it doesn't come loose so easily, in my experience. Do you have any eco-friendly tips for wrapping presents, choosing gift bags, etc.? So I always try to use reusable things, like I said. Bags, gift bags definitely fall into that category. I personally don't collect gift bags, but my mom does, and she has a shit ton of them. And so if you collect them and you have a bunch of them, just reusing those is just reusing what you already have is definitely the most sustainable option. Like this is a towel, and if the person I give this to really likes it, then they could just keep it and use it as a towel for themselves, or you can ask for it back. Like that's what I did with this last year. I gifted this to my cousin, and when she was done opening the gift, I just asked for it back. And I'm definitely gonna wrap more of that same person's gifts in this year. So I think that'll just become a new little tradition for us. And I think as long as you set those expectations that that's not part of their gift, if you're not intending it to be, when you give it to them, like literally, why would they expect to be able to keep the wrapping? They wouldn't expect it if it was in like a paper wrapping. I think it's pretty simple, and I think most people would be okay with that. Correct me if I'm wrong. And then this question, what's your favorite Christmas gift you've ever received? I can't think, I mean, like for the last few years, I've really tried to make sure that the things people give me are useful to me, and so I use one of the things I got for Christmas a couple years ago nearly every single day, and that's my misto. I know that's really boring. Oh, you know what might actually be the best gift I've ever got that like changed my life. So obviously I do YouTube as a job and social media in general, and I've been such a big fan of YouTube for so long, and photography I've always been a big fan of. And my cousin, when I was young, so young, she got me a camera, and I remember it because it was pink, and it was a film camera, of course, because we didn't have digital back then. Yeah, it was a Barbie film camera, and it's like the first camera I ever got that like kind of started, I guess, a lot of my passion in life. So that might be the best gift I've ever gotten. But I'd love to hear what yours is. That would be really cool to hear all of your like best gifts you've ever got. That was a good question. Well, that's it for my video today. I hope you learned something new. I hope the questions I picked were helpful. If you have any other questions, leave them in the comments. And I might make this a thing I do on the regular, just bring you with that throughout my day and answer questions, because it was fun, informative, and you get to see what life kind of looks like from my side. Don't forget to check out today's sponsor if you're in the market for some really good vitamins that are sustainably packaged. Like I said, you can get 50% off with my code, and I'll leave the link at the top of the description. And remember, until next time, you cannot do all the good that the world needs, but the world needs all the good that you can do. Bye, guys.